Hello, church family. Happy Friday. I hope you've been enjoying this week's devotions that are all talking about why we sing as a church. And today I want to talk to you about a couple things from my experience of why we sing as a church. Mainly that music helps us remember. We can remember the words, we can remember scripture. It helps us remember who God is, what He's done for us. And the other part is that it can kind of intensify emotional expression to God. And I know we've talked about, some of the other guys have talked about that this week so far, and we've talked a lot about the book of Psalms. And Psalms is an amazing book. It talks a lot about the feelings that the writers of the Psalms were feeling. And those Psalms were set to music. And I think that really intensifies our emotions sometimes. It also helps to tell a story. So the individual Psalms, talk about feelings and different things throughout the different Psalms. But the overarching theme of the book of Psalms is the Israelites and their exile, and then they're being brought back into the land that they were given by God, and how God kept His promises. And it's a beautiful thing, especially the one that Adrian shared yesterday that was really just celebrating God keeping His promises and how great He is an overarching thing. And I think part of the reason that Israelites and other cultures set their stories to music is that it helps you remember. If you've ever walked out of church, you may not remember all the words to the sermon that you heard, but you're going to hear the songs in your head. They're going to be going through your head. You might remember even songs that you learned when you were a little kid, and you hear them and you remember. It takes you back to church when you were little, and you can remember the words to those songs. That's why I think the job of a worship leader is so important, because you're going to remember those words. You're going to be singing them. So to have worship lyrics that are biblically sound and that are celebrating who God is and what He's done are just so important. And so Maria is doing such an amazing job, and I really appreciate what she does and the songs that she chooses, and the lyrics that are in those songs. They're so great. In children's ministry, we love to pick some songs that are just scripture set to music, because a great way to remember a scripture is to just put it to a tune, and then you can remember the tune and it helps you remember the music. So I think one of the reasons we sing in church is just to help us remember and to be able to pass those stories on. You can sing a song, you can teach the song to your kids, and that passes on the legacy of who God is and makes it easy to remember. So that's one of the things that I think is so great about why we sing. Another thing is that sometimes it intensifies emotion, and it can be so therapeutic. I know there have been some times in my life where I was going through a difficult time, and I would go to church and I couldn't even get the words of a song out. But just to be able to hear the church sing it over me, and to have those lyrics going through my mind, really, it was so helpful. And with kids, you may think of education. We talk about hitting more than one sense, and the more senses you can hit when you're teaching a lesson to kids, the more they're going to remember it. And I guess that's true of adults too. The more you're going to remember it. So music is sort of adding more senses. I'm not just hearing a straight message of words, but I'm adding music to it. I'm singing it back out. It's a fuller experience. And so I think it helps us to feel that more and to remember it better as well. And also with the intensifying of the feelings of it, if you've ever thought about movie theme songs like Jaws, you just hear that and you're already filling with dread. It's more than just seeing the shark. The music kind of intensifies it. Same thing with the Twilight Zone. I was talking about that with someone. Just the music starts to bring those emotions up. Well, worship songs can do the same thing, but hopefully more positive feelings. You may hear a tune, and that's going to well up those positive feelings in you, and it's so expressive, and I love that. So one psalm, I know we've been sharing a lot of psalms. So in Psalm 108, it says, "My heart, O God, is steadfast. I will sing and make music with all my soul. Awake, harp and lyre. I will awake in the dawn. I will praise you, Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. For great is your love, higher than the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. And I think that's just a great psalm that shares about singing of God's glory, singing of his praises, of his greatness. That's a great song, for yourself to be able to pass on to someone else, to be able to declare to the world how great God is. So I hope that that's been an encouraging thing for you. I hope you experience something similar, and I hope you have a great weekend, church.